Once upon a time, there was a tramp, and all he had in the whole wide world was a walking stick. Now one day, the tramp was walking along a country road when he could see that an elderly man was looking at him, a rich man. Or to be more precise, he was looking at his walking stick. And this man said to him, "Where did you get that walking stick?" "I made it myself." "Really? Could you take me to the tree where you got the stick from?" "I'll give you a gold coin." And at that moment, the tramp's eyes lit up. "Let's go." And off they went, walking through the countryside until they came to a beautiful hazelnut tree. Nearby was a little well, and it was at the foot of a hill. Now the man said, "Okay, could you give me your stick, please?" He took the stick and went, bah, right into the ground. And at that moment, the stick started to sprout little green leaves, and flowers started to blossom, and hazelnuts were there as well. And at that very moment, in the hill, a black hole opened up. The man seemed pleased, and he said, "Would you like to come inside with me?" Now, the tramp was a curious fellow, and he actually didn't have anything else to do. So he looked in the hole. He could see that there was enough room for a man to get through there, but there was like a huge bell in the middle. And the old man said, "Whatever you do, don't touch that bell." So the tramp squeezed past. His coat lightly touched the bell, but it didn't ring. And there he found himself in a huge cavern. There were torches all around the wall, but they didn't give off any smoke. And when his eyes grew accustomed to the semi-darkness, he could see that on the floor there was a ring, a circle of men, all sleeping, and they were dressed in armour. They seemed as if they were knights. And in the middle of the circle, raised up a little bit, there was another sleeping man with a crown on his head. "Is that a king?" he said. "Well, yes. This is our once and future king. They say that one day, when we really need him, he will wake up and come back and save us." Oh. The tramp looked around, and he could see there were also sleeping horses. And then something caught his eye. Treasure. There were boxes of treasure everywhere with gold and silver and rubies and emeralds and diamonds. And the old man said, "Take what you need. And while you do that, I'll go about my business." So the tramp filled his pockets with the gold and the silver, and he filled his pants and his socks and his hat, everything. He was totally covered everywhere, full of treasure. And then the man came and said, "It is time to go. But please be careful. When we leave, whatever you do, don't touch the bell." "Okay," said the man. Now, how was he to do that? He was like enormous with all the treasure, and there was only a little space. So he squeezed up really tight against the wall. He held his breath and he tried to get past, but no. Doing, 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 doing. The enormous bell started to ring. There was a clutter, there was a clatter, And all of a sudden, all the knights woke up, the horses woke up, and the king woke up. And the king said, "Is it time?" "No," said the man, "it is not time." The tramp looked at the king, the old man, the knights. And what do you think happened? Any ideas? Well, in this version of the story, the tramp turned around and ran as fast as he could right into the countryside. He ran and he ran, weighed down by all the treasure. Every now and again a coin or a diamond would fall, but he wouldn't stop to pick it up. He just kept running and running and running. Aye. And as night fell, he got to a big tree, and he knew that old man would never catch up. So he sat down under the tree and fell asleep. And in the morning, he went and he bought a big house. Lots of beautiful furniture, lots of nice food and delicious wine and whiskey, and started to have parties for everyone. Every week he had an enormous party. Obviously he needed servants to make the food and to wash up, and everyone loved his parties. But when a year and a day had passed, he discovered that all the money had gone. Everything. There he was, penniless again. So he had to say goodbye to the house. There were no friends to say goodbye to. They had disappeared. And off he went to look for that tree. He looked and he looked and he looked and he looked. But he never did find that hazelnut tree or the little well or the hill. And all he had in the whole wide world was this story that nobody believed.